that the School of Performing Arts and Film of Makerere University is indeed comprised of many poets, very light on their feet. Thank you very much for giving a very befitting welcome, School of Performing Arts and Film, Makerere University, to our chief guest, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, who is coming along with the First Lady and Minister of Education. We welcome the procession as it makes its way into the Freedom Square. This indeed is a momentous occasion for Makerere University. It will forever be a reference point in our university's history. Can we now stand, ladies and gentlemen, to receive the procession and our chief guest? The procession is led by the Chairperson Ceremonies Committee, Professor Jackie Bonabana. We also have Deputy Vice Chancellors. We have religious leaders, academic leaders, principals, deputy principals, and deans. We thank you all so much for looking very colorful in your gowns, members of the academic procession. This indeed is a momentous occasion for Makerere University. You're all most welcome to the launch of the iconic Makerere University main building and the installation of our Chancellor. Welcome and welcome yet again. Can we have the anthems? Thank you very much. As is the motto of our country, for God and my country, let me invite Reverend Dr. Lydia Chitaimbwa, chaplain of Makerere University, St. Francis, and your colleagues from the other denominations to please dedicate this event to the heavenly God.
Let us pray. Almighty God and Father, we lift our hearts to you in gratitude for this day. We thank you for bringing us together to witness the reopening of Makerere University's reconstructed main administration building and the installation of the new Chancellor of Makerere University. We are grateful for the leadership of this country, for the government of Uganda, and for the head of state, His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who provided funding for the main building. We are grateful for the First Lady, Mama, Minister of Education and Sports, Honorable Janet Kataha Museveni. Father God, we thank you for our new Chancellor, Dr. Crispus Chionga, who is being installed today. We lift him up to you for guidance and wisdom. May his tenure inspire a continued culture of excellence and innovation within this university. Sovereign God, as we gather today, we are grateful for the leadership of this university, the University Council, the management, the teaching and non-teaching staff, and all who have a stake in this virtuous university. We beseech your blessing upon us. Please bless all men and women in every corner of this great institution. We pray that everyone feels valued and empowered to reach their fullest potential in the fields and roles you have placed them. We thank you for the contractors and their staff who have worked hard to produce the beautiful work we are celebrating today. Heavenly Father, please bless our students, and may they remain focused on their studies and continue to value the gift of education. Bless their parents and guardians and all our development partners. Almighty God, let your love and peace prevail in this great institution. May Makerere University continue to shine in our country, in the region, in Africa, and the entire world. May the work that is done here continue to bring glory to your holy name. In your most revered name we have prayed, and everyone says, Amen.
Thank you, Reverend, for placing this event in the hands of God. We may take our seats, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency and First Lady, my name is Zahara Nampeo. I teach here at Makerere University School of Law. I'll be the Master of Ceremonies this morning, and I'll be assisted by my colleague, Mr. Yusuf Chiranda, University Secretary. Together we shall steer the program for the day, and we will be supported by 2 sign language interpreters because, Your Excellency, Makerere University is an inclusive institution. As you will know, Your Excellency, we are here to launch, and indeed you have done the official launch of the newly reconstructed Makerere main building, which was gutted by a terrible fire in 2020. 4 long, painful years it has been without our iconic ivory tower. We are also here today to install our new Chancellor, and we need to give thanks to God for that. Let me take this opportunity, Your Excellency, to invite the Vice-Chancellor to address the congregation and welcome us all for today. Vice-Chancellor, Makerere University, Professor Barnabas Nawangwe.
Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Tibuhaburwa Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda and visitor of Makerere University. Honorable Mama Janet Kataha Museveni, First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports. Honorable Ministers present, Honorable Members of Parliament, Members of the Judicature, Honorable Dr. Crispus Kionga, Chancellor-Designate, the immediate past Chancellor, Professor Ezra Surma, the Chairperson of Council, Mrs. Lona Magara, the Vice Chairperson of Council, Right Honorable Dani Kidega, Members of Council, Vice Chancellors and Rectors of sister universities, the Principal of MUBS, Professor Moses Muhwezi, the Deputy Vice Chancellors and Members of Management, Members of Senate, the Chancellors, former Chancellors, Vice Chancellors and Chairpersons of Makerere University Council, Members of Staff, the Guild President and members of the Guild Representative Council, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to warmly welcome you all to Makerere University and to this very historic occasion, the installation of the 8th Chancellor of Makerere University and the opening of the reconstructed main administration building. In a very special way, I welcome you, Your Excellency, President Museveni, and Mama Janet Museveni, back to your alma mater. Welcome. Let me take this opportunity to congratulate Your Excellency and Mama Janet Museveni on Uganda's success in sports and the recent declaration by the UNDP of Uganda as a middle-income country that was done here at Makerere. Indeed, with your wise leadership, Uganda has come a long way. Your Excellency and Mama Janet Museveni, the 20th of September was probably the saddest day in the history of Makerere University. In the early morning of that fateful day, our iconic main administration building was gutted by fire. When I arrived at the scene with my wife Susan, a few minutes after the midnight, it seemed like the end of the world. Your Excellency, you were the first person that called me that early morning at 3 a.m. You asked me, is it true that the main building has caught fire? When I answered in the affirmative, your next question was, are the student records safe? Again, I answered in the affirmative. Then you said, then it is all right, because the student records are the most important. That night, it seemed like all Makerere, including the then Chancellor Professor Ezra Surma and the Council Chair Mrs. Lona Magara, woke up and surrounded their beloved iconic building. I recall the sad faces of the Makerere community and the brevity of some of our staff, particularly my PA, Mr. Gordon Mrangira, and Professor Eria Hisali, who braved the heat and led groups of volunteers to rescue some of the important items from the burning building, including the Chancellor's mess, academic regalia, and the university seal. Meanwhile, Professor Suruma and my wife Susan were praying hard to God to save the building. Maybe that's why only the officers of the Chancellor and Vice Chancellor survived the fire. In the book of Isaiah 43, verse 2, we read, when you pass through the rivers, they shall not overflow you. When you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned, nor shall the flame scorch. So thank you, Professor Suruma and Susan, for your prayers. Early the following day, Mama Janet Museveni visited the site and comforted us very early in the morning. Mama's visit was followed by visits by many other concerned citizens, including Archbishop Samuel Stephen Kazimba Mugalu, and I thank them wholeheartedly for their support. Soon after Mama's visit, I received the first international call from Rita Roy, President of the MasterCard Foundation, who in a very short statement said, we are going to support you with $1 million to help you recover the student records. Indeed, the seed sown by the MasterCard Foundation has transformed Makerere into one of the most digitalized universities globally. Your actions helped to reduce the sadness that had engulfed our hearts. When Professor Alinete and I came to Cabinet to explain the cause of the fire, you guided the Cabinet to immediately approve the release of the 21 billion shillings that was required to reconstruct the building. Your Excellency and Mama, this afternoon you have just opened the reconstructed iconic main administration building of Makerere University, designed and built by Ugandan architects and engineers trained by Makerere University, and the building is entirely funded by the Republic of Uganda. I congratulate the architects and engineers from the College of Engineering, Design, Art and Technology and Messrs. Symbion International, who are the consultants, and the engineers from Messrs. Excel Construction Limited, the contractor, on a job well done. These were all supervised by our Estates and Works Department, particularly Engineer Ezra Sekade. Out of the ruins and ashes of the old building rises a magnificent structure built using the most modern technology, reflecting the architectural image of the former, and yet completely transformed to embrace the latest technology inside. The basement of the building will accommodate the Makerere University Museum, and we will be honored to host the Luwero War Memorial Museum if we are allowed to do so. Makerere University is very much associated with that liberation war, and it is just befitting that we honor those who left the university to fight for freedom. As an architect, I can affirm that this building will stand and proclaim to the world, we build for the future, for centuries to come. My heart is overflowing with joy, as you can see, and quietly proclaiming the glory of God. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Mama, and the entire government for wiping our tears and bringing new smiles to our faces. Thank you for personally coming to open this reconstructed historic building. The ceremony of opening the reconstructed building, which you have just presided over, brings to an end the anxiety among Makerere staff, students, alumni, and other stakeholders by seeing their icon of higher education in this region once again standing tall, beautiful, and proud. Allow me, Your Excellency and Mama, to take this opportunity to thank you and the government of Uganda for the enormous investments in other infrastructure projects at Makerere University during the last 4 years. During this period, your government has invested more than 50 billion shillings on the construction of the main building, construction of a new building for the School of Law, construction of the perimeter fence, renovation of Lumumba Hall, and the ongoing renovation of Mary Stewart Hall. Thank you, Your Excellency, for the directive to renovate all the student halls of residence. The government has also made remarkable investments in the research infrastructure, research funding, and human resources of the university during this period. The 30 billion shillings of the Research and Innovation Fund that the government has given us annually for research and innovation for the last 4 years, it is only this year, Your Excellency, that it has been reduced to 20 billion, has tremendously transformed the university. Many cutting-edge innovations are now coming out of the university, and many of them are transforming communities across our beloved country, including the Kigezi Potatoes and Sorghum Value Addition Project in southwestern Uganda, the Sorghum and Peanut Improvement Project in the West Nile region, Karamoja, and other parts of Uganda, the improved soybean varieties that are changing lives in eastern Uganda, and the silverfish value addition project in central Uganda, and many others. With the support of the UNDP, we have established a state-of-the-art innovation pod that is already enabling our young researchers and professors to incubate their innovations to commercial products and services, and churning out companies that will employ Uganda's growing young population. We look forward to the implementation of the infrastructure improvement project under the Korea Exim Bank loan that government is currently negotiating. With this support, we intend to modernize the infrastructure for medical and engineering training and establish a science and technology park that will enable hundreds of innovators from Makerere and other universities and institutions, as well as the many innovators in the community, to incubate their ideas into businesses. Your Excellency, we are working with innovators from Katwe, from even Katanga here, who have got good ideas, but they just need some advice, and they are actually coming up with wonderful innovations. Our intention is to spin off hundreds of companies annually when this project matures. We would like every student living in Makerere to live with an idea of what they could do in case they are not employed. The training of engineers is crucial to our national development. We are proud that all the infrastructure projects at Makerere have been supervised by our architects and engineers. But we wish to enhance the training of our engineers through advanced technical and business development skills so that they can compete with international firms. We therefore request for your support, Your Excellency, to consider Makerere University like a district for the allocation of a road maintenance unit as part of the district road maintenance unit program. With this unit, we will be able to train our students by maintaining the university's roads and the roads of the surrounding communities, Katanga, Kikoni, and so on. We can make those roads. The ultimate aim is to produce engineers who will build strong contracting firms for our country. I pray that this proposal is given consideration in the next financial year budget. Using the Research and Innovation Fund, we are carrying out the mapping of our soils and mineral wealth, and we should be able to present to you reports on these in the near future. Your Excellency, we must know the soils we have so that farmers don't just go on growing everything and making losses just because they don't know the soils that they have. Under the patronage of Professor Suruma, our former Chancellor, we conducted a study on the implementation of the parish development model, and we will soon conduct a parish development model lab with the aim of improving the performance of that very important project. We hope that you will find time to advise us at that lab. We are inspired by your wise words of wisdom whenever you visit us to fully emancipate the African people from poverty and marginalization, and we are determined to make our contribution to that cause. We thank the government for providing the funds for the harmonization of salaries across the public universities. Makerere University staff were hitherto the most disadvantaged, and I call on all the staff whose salaries have been harmonized to double their efforts in serving Makerere and Uganda. I understand, though, that some of the letters given to some of them are not very clear, but that is no cause for worry. We shall correct them. I will not tire to thank you, Your Excellency, for the enhancement of salaries of the academic staff, particularly the professors and the associate professors. This has helped to stem the high turnover of this category of staff and to increase research productivity. Your Excellency, if the economy allows, I pray that you consider narrowing the relatively big gap between the salaries of the professors and senior lecturers and lecturers. I pray, Your Excellency. This will certainly go a long way in improving our effectiveness and impact on the economy. I thank the Parliament of Uganda for appropriating the very much needed resources, as well as the Minister of Finance and Economic Development, particularly Mr. Ramadan Govi, for the timely release of those resources amid competing national priorities. I equally thank Mr. Benson Ramye, the Executive Director of Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Assets Authority, for facilitating the procurement process that has enabled us to implement most of the infrastructure projects mentioned above, always within the contracted sum, time, and with the highest quality. Your Excellency, our attention is not only on the welfare of staff. We are also concerned with the welfare of the students. To this end, we have established a disability support center, a one-stop center that will support students with disability. We have also established the student work scheme to support students with financial challenges. In addition, Makerere University has pioneered the Mama Janet Museveni's initiative on empowering the next generation of leaders through the Emerging Leaders Program. And on 27th September, Mama launched the Emerging Leaders Program here at Makerere University. This program is aimed at saving the next generation of leaders from alcohol addiction, drug and substance abuse, corruption, and the deadly HIV/AIDS, which threaten their full potential and survival. I thank you, Mama, for this initiative, and I thank the Guild leadership for wholly accepting and driving its implementation. May I request Your Excellency just to invite the Guild President and the Vice to come just and say hi to you. Guild President.
Yes, thank you, the Vice-Chancellor, for the latitude you've extended to me. Mr. President, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, my name is Lubega Vincent Nsamba, the Serving Guild President of Makerere University. And her besides me here, you can come and say something.
Thank you so much. They are trying to lower the microphone again. Good morning, all protocol observed. I am Joy Eve Serinjoji Nakanyike, the GRC of Mary Stuart Hall and the Vice Guild President of this mighty university, and a fourth-year medical student.
So, Your Excellency, I will be very brief, like the VC has suggested, by extending a vote of thanks for the funds that have been contributed to the reconstruction of the main building, but most importantly and particularly to the reconstruction and renovations that have been taking place in the halls of residence. They have finished Lumumba Hall. They are now at Mary Stuart. I know they are coming for Complex, then Micho, and other halls of residences that are in a dilapidated state. They are yet to be renovated. We extend a vote of appreciation for you being in position to recognize that need and release the funds to cater for that. This has not only contributed to bettering the welfare of the student, but it has also improved their academic life on campus. Mr. President, like we shared inside the main building there, that one of the biggest challenges that we think these developmental states are facing, which Uganda is part, is lack of an ideology. And we do believe that you are one of the ideological proponents and individuals that we have in this continent. So we extend to request that you ease a day of your busy schedule to come back here at Makerere University and ideologically orient this young population. You realize countries like China, where they have their themes that we shall never be slaves again. Ours is a generation which believes that maybe the word for God and my country is not an idea that clearly speaks to hearts and minds and easily mobilizes masses. When one says that we shall never be slaves again, someone is mobilized to go out there and do work so that they don't be a slave again. So we believe in the evening of your leadership, that would be a very great contribution to our country, Mr. President. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. President, for that ideologically loaded statement. Your Excellency, today is a special day in the history of Makerere, for it is the day the Lord has made for the installation of our new Chancellor, Honorable Dr. Crispas Kiyonga. What a blessing that it is on the day we reopen our iconic main building that we also install our new Chancellor. I would like to heartily congratulate you, Honorable Crispas Kiyonga, upon your appointment, which is a befitting recognition of your long and distinguished career as an active physician, statesman, and diplomat. We look forward to your leadership and guidance as the titular head of this great institution, as Makerere University seeks to broaden the culture of science, technology, and innovation, bolster its cherished partnerships with industry, boost internationalization, and graduate studentships, as well as continue strategically liaising with the government to drive high technology, innovation, commercialization of research outputs, job creation, and wealth creation. May I take this opportunity to once again, Your Excellency, call for the introduction of a graduate students' government scholarship scheme. This will increase the throughput of master's and PhD graduates that are so crucial for spurring innovation and economic development. I thank the University Council led by Mrs. Donna Magara for the exemplary oversight that has enabled the university to achieve all this success and for ensuring that Makerere gets a befitting chancellor. Finally, Your Excellency, allow me to thank all our guests for honoring our invitation, particularly our international guests, including a high-powered delegation from the University of Bergen in Norway, with whom we have a very long partnership. I once again thank you, Your Excellency, for graciously accepting to preside over this event, and I wish all our guests a good afternoon as we build for the future. It is now my honor and privilege to invite the Chairperson of Council to address the congregation, Mrs. Donna Magara.
Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the First Lady and Honorable Minister of Education and Sports, Mama Janet Kataha Museveni, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Thomas Taegwa, Honorable Ministers present, Members of Parliament, the outgoing and incoming Chancellor of Makerere University, and the other former Chancellors of Makerere University, members of the University Council, the Vice-Chancellor Professor Barnabas Nawangwe, and members of the University Management Team, former Vice-Chancellors present, and those from other universities present, the staff and students of Makerere University, distinguished dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a very exciting day. It is a day of new beginnings. We are gathered here to celebrate two special occasions. On the one hand, we have a new chancellor about to be installed. On the other, we celebrate the restoration of the iconic ivory tower, the Makerere University Main Administration Building. Congratulations, Dr. Crispus Kionga, on your appointment as Chancellor of Makerere University. We eagerly anticipate benefiting from your vast experience and extensive networks to advance the university's cause. Once again, welcome to the university service. To our outgoing Chancellor, Professor Suruma, we express our deepest gratitude for your exemplary service. Your leadership offered a strong anchor in the turbulent COVID times and when the main building burnt down. May God richly bless you and reward you for your selfless dedication. On behalf of the University Council, I extend our deepest gratitude to the government of Uganda, led by His Excellency the President, and the First Lady Mama, for your unwavering support. I recall, like the Vice-Chancellor said, the fateful night of September 20th, 2020, when our beloved Ivory Tower was engulfed in flames. It was a night of anguish, followed by days of uncertainty. The loss of historical documents and critical infrastructure seemed insurmountable. Yet here we stand today, celebrating the rebirth of this iconic building, now equipped with advanced technology to prevent such tragedies in the future. Profound lessons have been learned through this experience, and we move into the future with renewed vision, determination, and commitment to scale new heights in our contribution to national and continental transformation. The restoration of the main building typifies the indomitable spirit we carry as a nation, rising from the ashes of war to where we are today. It reminds us all that no matter how devastating our circumstances might be, through resilience, we can rise to greater heights than before. The new main building is indeed superior to the one that got burnt. We thank you, Your Excellency and Mama Janet, for ensuring timely and total funding for this project. The restoration of the main building strongly symbolizes the government's commitment to investing in Makerere University and indeed the education sector. In addition to the main building, like the Vice-Chancellor had listed earlier, the government has generously funded several infrastructure projects, including the construction of the School of Law, School of Dentistry, the renovation of Lumumba Hall, the wall around the university, and several others projects. Currently, the renovation of Mary Stuart Hall is underway, with plans for other student residences in the pipeline. We extend our heartfelt appreciation to the Ministry of Finance, Planning and Economic Development for implementing Your Excellency's directives and providing the necessary funding for these critical projects. Your Excellency, we have aligned our processes and systems with government policies and expectations to ensure accountable service delivery in higher education. Our immediate focus is threefold. One is to ensure the teaching, learning, and research systems. Two is to align our research agenda with the national development plans. And three is to raise value-based students through the Emerging Leaders Program, recently inaugurated by Mama Janet Museveni. We recognize the university's critical role as a hub for consistent and intentional transformative conversations. These conversations are a bedrock for mentorship, including mindset change and passing on the older generation's values to the younger generation. Your Excellency, this is what the Guild President was making reference to. We are advancing your vision of a Choto under the Emerging Leaders Program. At these Chotos, our elders and leaders engage with the students to respond to their questions, but also to communicate valuable experiences that would guide them in their lives. In the past, our elders, grandparents, and parents passed on their values and norms and shared priceless experiences through conversations around fireplaces or at family gatherings. Your Excellency and Mama, we would be greatly honored to learn from you at Achoto. In all our initiatives, we recognize the crucial importance of preserving our history and educating the young generation about Uganda's journey. That is why, Mr. President, we have dedicated significant space within the main building for a university museum. This museum will showcase the critical history of both Makerere University and Uganda. Additionally, we recently inaugurated the Mutesa I Royal Museum. We believe it is essential for current and future generations to learn about our society's socio-economic struggles and the selfless sacrifices made for our liberation. Preserving and sharing this information embodies the true Pan-African spirit that Your Excellency stands for. We are committed to raising an informed, values-based, passionate, and selfless generation of young people. We pledge to work towards the transformation of Uganda and Africa by developing our people towards economic independence. Therefore, the glorious days of Makerere University are not behind us, but ahead. We embrace the future with renewed hope and commitment to serve our nation and build for posterity. With God's help, we will give our very best as we build for the future. It is now my singular honor to introduce to you the Chancellor-designate, Dr. Crispus Walter Chionga. And as he steps up, I'll just quickly give a brief citation. Dr. Crispus Walter Chionga is a distinguished public service, physician, political leader, and career diplomat. He is a proud alumnus of Makerere University. Dr. Chionga graduated with a Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. He furthered his education by obtaining a Master in Health Science from the Johns Hopkins School of Public Health. Throughout his illustrious career in public service, Dr. Chionga has held numerous critical roles as a cabinet minister in various portfolios. His notable positions include Minister of Cooperatives and Marketing, Minister of Finance, Minister of Internal Affairs, Minister of Health, National Political Commissar, and Minister of Defense. As a diplomat, Dr. Chionga served as Uganda's ambassador to China between 2017 to 2020. As Chancellor of Makerere University, Dr. Chionga brings a wealth of experience, leadership, and dedication. His extensive networks and wavering commitment to public service will continue to grace the university with an avid and visionary leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you Dr. Crispus Chionga. I would now like to take the honor to invite the visitor, the President of the Republic of Uganda, to take us through the installation of the Chancellor. You're welcome, Mr. President.
I think let's stand here. It will be brief. To be brief. They said they changed it. They did first leave. I don't know what to do that. Where are the things the president is handing over? Bring it here. What is the president handbook? Where is it?
He has it in his hands.
Okay. So, Your Excellency will request you now to hand over the key to the Chancellor designate. And we request Your Excellency just to wait as the chair comes on the row.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is happening is that the visitor has now installed the Chancellor and is getting him seated in his official chair as the Chancellor of Makerere University, and has also handed to him the Universities and Other National Institutions Act, which is the founding law of this public university. And I will now request the Vice Chancellor and the University Council Chairperson to hand over additional instruments of service to the Chancellor. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome and congratulate our new Chancellor, Dr. Crispus Walter Chionga. And now, it's my distinguished honor to request the Council Chairperson, Mrs. Luna Magara, to come and invite our Chancellor to give his acceptance speech. Mrs. Magara.
Congratulations, Dr. Chionga. The mace you have received from His Excellency today symbolizes your authority upon the university and what Makerere University stands for. I'd now like to invite you to give your acceptance speech, and thereafter invite the Minister of Education and Sports, Mama Janet. You're welcome, Mr. Chancellor.
Your Excellency, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda, Mama Honorable Janet Kataha Museveni, Minister of Education and Sports, the Right Honorable Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Thomas Tayewa, my dear wife Alice, my children and my granddaughter Inel Muhindo, relatives and my invited friends, Ministers and Ministers of State, honorable members of Parliament, the Chairperson of the University Council, Mrs. Lorna Magara, and other members of the University Council, brothers and sisters who have been Chancellors before, Professor Ezra Sruma, Professor Kagonyera, and others, the Vice Chancellor of Makerere University, Brother Professor Barnabas Nawangwe, the Deputy Vice Chancellors, the University Secretary, the Academic Registrar, academic and other members of staff of the University, the students of Makerere, visibly represented by their President and the Vice President of the Guild, comrades, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. President, I take this opportunity to thank you and the First Lady, Honorable Janet Museveni, for your decision to deploy me at Makerere in the position of Chancellor. Please join me and we clap for the President. I thank you very much. In the same vein, Mr. President, I convey the appreciation of my immediate family for this deployment. I will, in the coming days, Mr. President, link with the university through the Vice-Chancellor to more clearly understand issues at the university and see how to relate with the managers of the university in the context of the central task we face to transform our continent, Africa, Uganda inclusive. In this regard, my preliminary thinking include: 1, deepening the linkage of the wider community of students and staff of Makerere University with the central government and the communities of Uganda. Can the research agendas of the university speak more clearly and more directly to the development agenda as spelled out by government? Can the students be more involved in different forms of extension in the Ugandan population and communities? Can the significant quantity of land that the university has be used to create agro-industrial parks for practical learning and incomes? Do all students across the courses they do, be it medicine or social sciences, follow the struggle to liberate and transform Africa? And in this regard, I'm glad that the president of the Guild and his vice have briefly spoken to this subject. Concluding, Mr. President, I thank you and Mama Janet for once again deploying me to this area. The struggle to develop and transform Africa is a revolutionary duty. It is therefore the duty of all patriots of Uganda and Africa, wherever they may be, to do what they can in support of this effort. Makerere University is a prominent and historical central learning and knowledge-generating institutions in Africa. Makerere University, therefore, has the duty to keep abreast with the developments in Africa. And those of us who get the opportunity to do some work here have the duty and obligation to keep this assignment under central focus. I thank you all for your attention. I thank you, Your Excellency. I thank you, Mama Janet Museveni, for this opportunity. The struggle continues. It's now my singular honor and pleasure to invite you, Mama Honorable Janet Kataha Museveni, to come and speak to your people. Most welcome. Let's welcome Mama with a very wide clap.
Thank you, Dr. Chiyonga. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, honorable ministers present here today, members of Parliament, the outgoing Chancellor of Makerere University, Professor Ezra Suruma, and the incoming Chancellor, Professor Chiyonga, the University Council Chairperson, Mrs. Lorna Magara, and members of the University Council, the Vice Chancellor, Professor Barnabas Nawangwe, and members of the University Management, the staff and students of Makerere University, distinguished dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon to you all. I am happy to join you on this beautiful day when we celebrate a double event indeed. Thanking God for the successful restoration of the main building, a monumental infrastructure, and installing a new University Chancellor, Dr. Crispus Chiyonga. Congratulations, Dr. Chiyonga, on your esteemed appointment. I also extend the heartfelt congratulations to Professor Ezra Suruma for your exemplary service as Chancellor for the 2 terms. You served your role with distinction, and we are proud of you. The memory of 20th September, as you have heard from those who spoke before me, 2020, when the iconic Ivory Tower was engulfed in flames, remains vivid to many of us. Makerere's main building is more than just infrastructure. It symbolizes the history and evolution of higher education in Uganda and is a masterpiece of architecture. Today, we celebrate its restoration and the newly ignited hope for the future. The Bible says, a righteous man may fall 7 times, but he rises again. That's in Proverbs 24, verse 16. The restoration of main building symbolizes the rising again of Makerere University, I believe. Makerere will once again produce national, continental, and world leaders, men and women, trained and equipped with knowledge and skill, passionate, selfless, and willing to pay the price to see their communities transformed. Africa, they want to see Africa united, economically independent, and developing. It is my prayer that Makerere will continue to play a pivotal role in future generations. Your Excellency, the President, I am delighted to note that Makerere has restored this building to its original exterior glory while making necessary the interior adjustments to meet current needs. The restoration design undertaken by our academicians from the Makerere University College of Engineering, Design, Art and Technology is even more fulfilling. This exemplifies how our academic expertise can be practically applied to deliver public goods and services. We hope to see more initiatives where academicians directly support government projects extending beyond the gates of Makerere. On behalf of our nation's education sector, I thank you, Your Excellency, for your immediate directive to fund the restoration of this iconic building and other critical projects at Makerere, including the students' residences. When the University Council attempted to establish a fundraising committee for the main building, they had reservations about raising the substantial funds needed for such a complex restoration. Your timely intervention, Mr. President, underscores your unwavering support for the higher education sector and Makerere University in particular. The main building is not an isolated area of government investment at this university, as you have heard from the leaders of this university. We were supposed to commission the School of Law building this morning and the refurbished Lumumba Hall, which means they are done, they are ready and waiting for commissioning. Other government-funded projects include the ongoing renovation of Mary Stewart Hall, the construction of the School of Dentistry, the perimeter wall, as you have heard already from the Vice Chancellor before me, and improvements at the University Hospital, including setting up an operating theater and ICU. We have moved beyond the past, when our partners in development funded all major infrastructure projects at this university and others. With improved economic performance, our government can and will continue to take up these responsibilities incrementally. Yes, but also, as the Minister of Education and Sports, I'd be even more proud to know that Makerere and other public universities has some good investment in an endowment fund, which gives you more freedom to fulfill your plans, and I can't wait for that day when I hear that good news. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to highlight that alongside our investments in infrastructure, the government has also prioritized other critical operational aspects of the university. A key area of focus is research funding, which was previously reliant on our partners. The reliance on donor funding also meant that we had limited control over the research agenda, often resulting in studies that did not address our local needs. Establishing the Research and Innovation Fund bridges that gap now and ensures that our research efforts yield outcomes that drive economic growth and social transformation. On this momentous day, I must also commend the government's progressive steps towards resolving staff remuneration issues, including salary harmonization and enhancement. This fiscal year, the government has fully funded salary harmonization across all public universities and remains committed to further salary enhancements as economic conditions improve. To the Vice Chancellor, Professor Nawangwe, and your team, we have great confidence in the potential of Makerere University and other public universities to tackle the pressing challenges facing our nation and the African continent. With a rapidly growing population, we must produce more food and expand economic opportunities to ensure gainful employment for all. We need local solutions to the continuously emerging challenges. Our investments in higher education are driven by the high expectation that you will deliver these solutions promptly. You are a significant partner in national development. Please remember that always. Congratulations to you all on the re-inauguration of the main building. May this achievement inspire hope, zeal, continued progress, and innovation as we build for the future. It is now my singular honor to invite Your Excellency to address this gathering. I thank you.
The Honorable Minister of Education and Sports, and all the other ministers, the Chancellor of Makerere University, the academicians, the Chairperson of Council, and all the people in attendance here. I congratulate Makerere on restoring the administration building, which had been burnt. I congratulate you. I was happy to take part in commissioning it, and I acted as a tour guide to you new people, to show you where we used to have some historical debates, like the debate we had in 1969, in which I participated, and Professor Mazrui was there, and Dr. Rodney was there. Even Kanyihamba, I remember Kanyihamba was also there. And we had our big arguments between the patriots, who were led by Dr. Rodney, and those who were pro other ideas, led by Professor Mazrui. I remember Professor Mazrui saying, I am not in conflict with Dr. Rodney. And then when Rodney came up, he said, we are not in conflict, we are not even in contact. Very historic debate, because you cannot conflict with somebody who is talking about different things when you are talking about different things. So I congratulate the university. As Professor Nawang said, my main concern was the records of the university, of the students. But otherwise, Buzimbe. We just build a new one. That's no big problem. So we have built it now. Secondly, I want to congratulate you on having a new chancellor in the person of Dr. Crispus Chionga. Dr. Crispus Chionga is an outstanding cadre and leader of the NRM. He's a member of the Central Committee, and he has been very active in our efforts ever since 1980, when we were involved with UPM. So I congratulate him and I congratulate the university. Now, universities, including Makerere, are centers of knowledge. The question is, what is knowledge? Knowledge is about what? Part of the problem of Africa has been the confusion on this idea. What is knowledge? The universe, there are different figures which I have seen. Some figures say the universe has been here for the last 30 billion years. Others say 15 billion. But the universe has been here for a very long time. The universe, the earth, the planets, beyond the planets. However, the human beings have been here in our form, in our present form, have been here for 4.5 million years, according to some records. So that is when what you call Homo sapien evolved. The wise man the wise man. Now, much of the knowledge is around this man, this wise man. This wise man had 3 characteristics which other creatures did not have. He had a superior brain, he was bipedal, he could stand on 2 legs, when most animals walk on 4 or crawl on the ground. And he had a hand that could do work and shape tools. Now, within the NRM, we studied this evolution of man and society very seriously. And we call it political economy. Now, political economy is not political science, the sort of things I saw in the university when we were there. Political economy is the study of the laws that govern the evolution of society. Now, one of the stimulus for the evolution of society is the advance in science and technology. When science and technology advance, mostly advanced by this man, the Homo sapiens sapien. And what it means is that this man understands the laws of nature, which are there, but people didn't know. Gravity was not created by man. It was there. Gravity is a force of nature. But people didn't know that there was a force called gravity until somebody pointed it out. All the natural laws are there. Now, by understanding them and using them to solve society problems, then science and technology have moved forward. It is therefore very, very crucial for all academicians to understand this. 1.5 million years ago, the human beings were tree dwellers. They were staying in the trees because that's where it was safe to be. But 1.5 million years ago, man invented fire. The invention of fire caused huge changes in society. Society changed from living in the trees to living in the caves, because they now had fire, which enabled them to go into the dark caves, chase the wild animals, the snakes there, and stay there. And it was safer there. It was safer and more comfortable in the cave than in the trees. And you can go step by step. The invention of agriculture. Society was hunter-gatherer. Society were hunting and gathering. That's how they were getting food. Until they learned the science of domesticating crops, picking some seeds and planting them. Or, like my tribe, who long ago learned how to domesticate wild animals and make them cows. This was a big progress in society. So it's very important for, in our teaching, for this information to be very clear. It is on yesterday I was talking to some lawyers, some Chief Justice in Munyonyo. If you trace, I think the first time Egypt was colonized was some years AD something, when a group called the Hittites invented iron tools before the Egyptians invented them. Because the Egyptians were still using brass and maybe some bronze or something like that. But the iron tools were stronger than the other metals. So, therefore here, in the case of the universities of Africa, including Makerere, I know you have been doing very well in the area of natural sciences, medicine, and some other sciences, agriculture, started long ago, veterinary, later on engineering was added. When we came into government, I insisted on creating the food science technology. I added it myself, I insisted. How can you say you are studying science and you don't study science about food? And you are studying cockroaches and I don't know what. So I insisted. And I also insisted on the faculty. I don't know what it is doing now. The faculty of quantitative economics. Echivaro, ability to do project analysis. Because when we had just come into government, I inquired, because I knew the importance of that discipline, project evaluation and so on. Where are people trained in project evaluation, profitability analysis? So there's only the University of in the UK, what were they calling? There was a university there where they were going. I've forgotten the name. But why don't you start your own faculty? I hope you start. It was started, I don't know how it is doing well or how it is doing now. Because I still see people going to import people to do project analysis, feasibility study, what have you. I've forgotten that university where they were. So, on the side of natural sciences, these universities, like the ones in Africa, have been doing some work. But I want you to audit. How are you doing it? Can you not improve the teaching of science? Science, which means understanding the laws of nature and using them to solve problems. For instance, people have been getting the BSc agriculture from here for a long time. I remember I saw the first people in 1955 in Tungamo there. We had never seen anybody from Makerere. You know where Ntungamo is? Ntungamo Post Office Private Bagambarara. And we saw a man called Garkandi. Mtawan Wabitaro. He had a piki. I think he was an assistant agriculture officer. Say, he's from Makerere. And he has got a diploma. We were really impressed. But when I came into government, even before I came into government, I knew those people who had done BSc agriculture. At that time, during the time of the colonial people, it seems, I don't know, you can study it. It seemed they were teaching our people very well how to grow crops, how to put them in line, how to use improved seeds, how to do this. Good agricultural practices. But value addition, it seems, was not being talked about. when you produce cotton, I know this because from my guerrilla side, I came to know more about value addition than even some of our people, the scientists. For instance, when I went to Namulonge, where they were telling me about cotton, they were saying cotton, you can get textiles from cotton, you can get cooking oil from cotton seeds. You can also get animal feeds from cotton seed cake. I waited. They didn't. They stopped there. I said, do you know that you can get gunpowder, that they get gunpowder from cotton? And these people seem not to know. They didn't know why the Chinese were buying so much cotton from here, taking it. They would go and make gunpowder, nitrocellulose, and sell it to us here who are asleep. And because of that, you find our military industries are not as efficient as the Chinese ones, because we are using imported gunpowder, nitrocellulose, to pack it here. Our only job is to pack it. So I was telling you, why don't you produce? We are the ones with the cotton. So these science courses, they must be, as we say, vertically integrated, teaching our people how to look for the raw materials, as the professor was saying, Professor Nawang was saying, how they can look for the minerals. But we should not only have the technology to look for the minerals, but to add value to all of them up to the last, so that we get maximum value from them. So that's one area of refining our knowledge about nature from the science side. Now, this is now natural sciences, but from the science side of social science, it is again the same challenge. Because this human being, this Homo sapiens sapien, when he was inventing things, and it would affect the way society is organized. You have seen that when fire was invented, the whole society changed from staying in trees to staying in caves. When our people, ancient people invented agriculture, the whole thing changed. In the hunter-gathering times, the hunter was very important because he's the one who was feeding the family. But now, with the crops, the one who could cultivate became very important, and who could domesticate animals. So every change in level of science affects the society. Now, are we conversant with these social ideas? Because these are now social ideas now. I came here and I spoke to Professor Chirumira. He was the one heading the history department. And I wanted to engage them because I was already very active with the science side. The food technology people, I was with them, Chamhangire, Florence Muranga, and all of those. The Kira Motors, Musasizi, Tokodri, I'm always very busy with those to deepen the ideas of natural science. How about the social science side? Because there are a lot of problems there. the paralysis in Africa is because of that side of the social sciences. The correct ideas of how to organize society. So I therefore challenge you, and I challenge Dr. Kionga to audit this. How is that? When we came from the bush, I brought these ideas. And I met Dr. Mujaju. We came, I talked to Dr. Mujaju, we talked. I thought he had got what I was saying. Introducing political economy as a paper in all courses. Whatever you study, have a paper to understand the laws that govern the changes in society. Which are these laws? I'm telling you that law number one is that when there is change in science and technology, there are concomitant changes in society. That's what I'm telling you now. And this is what I wanted Mujaju to follow up. But then Mujaju went and made development studies. Before I knew that you could get a degree in development studies. It was a whole degree now. But me, I was talking about a paper in political economy, not how is the development studies from, where do you put economics, where do you put what? I couldn't. Up to now, I have not had time really to go back for that battle. So when I went to our university in Makerere, which I had started, because in Makerere I started it myself, and I wanted it to follow our NRM ideas. I put a faculty of medicine. Then with Professor Kayanja, we added a faculty of computer science, science education, to teach science teachers. Then we added, I think, Bachelor of Nursing and Bachelor of Computer something. Then they had started development studies. Please. Please. I don't know what I protested. I didn't go on the streets, but I don't know whether it is still there in Makerere or what. So, with these few words, regarding the road unit, that's a very good idea. A road unit I would definitely support that, so that you can have your own road unit. You teach your engineers how to make roads and how to to do buildings and so on. Practically, I totally agree with that. Coming to talk to the students, I will be very happy. Oh, I like talking. If you invite me. If you invite me, you do so at your own risk. So I will happily come. But I think we are moving very well, because since we introduced the research fund, you have seen what has been achieved. The banana project of Dr. Muranga, the projects of Professor Chamahanyire, the Kira Motors, the vaccines, things are really moving. The anti-tick vaccine of Dr. Kahwa and Naro, they have invented an anti-tick vaccine where you can kill where the cow can kill the ticks. So the ticks are now endangered species instead of endangering the cows. So we are moving very well. I just want us to refine that. All these graduates of agriculture, you must not only grow the crops, but to know how to use them to the last gram. Because what's happening in the world is a scandal. I have given you the example of coffee. The value of coffee in the world, I have told you this before, is $460 billion. But all the coffee-growing countries in the world, Brazil, all of them, Colombia, Uganda, they share only $25 billion from the $460 billion. You can't believe it. And Africa is sharing only $2.5 billion of the $460 billion. So we say we are growing coffee. You know, Uganda is a coffee-growing country. Coffee-growing country. Growing, how can you lose so much value? Of the 2.5 billion, Uganda is getting 900 million because of the big quantities we are producing. A country like Germany, which does not grow a single tree of coffee, earns $65 billion from coffee. Because they roast and grind the coffee in Hamburg, they get more money from coffee than all the coffee-growing countries in the world, more than 2 times. And then you have got educated people in those countries. They are just there. So this is terrible. So the crisis you see in Africa, security, lack of jobs, is because of this knowledge gap among the intelligentsia of these countries, of the third world countries. In the government, I have been having a big war about value addition. It's as if it's my problem. You remember one time in Parliament, they were opposing value addition to the coffee, almost causing a clash between me pushing for, because now when you sell unprocessed coffee beans, you get $2.5 a kilo. But that same kilo, after it is processed and sold, it can go up to as much as $40 a kilo. So how can you have all these things like this happening? So when you hear the crisis in Africa, West Africa, wars, young people dying in the ocean, going to Europe, it is because of this gap in social science. Social science must move up, must catch up with history, must go from being social science of colonialism to social science of liberation. I thank you and I congratulate everybody.
NBS Happening Now.